Hey everyone, this is a very spontaneous video. I had not planned shooting anything today, but I had just one of those mornings. It started well. I was doing my first half of morning routine, meditating, enjoying and feeling grateful for the wind on my skin, some breath work, and then I wanted to have breakfast before doing the other half. And that's when hell broke loose. I'm currently staying with my family for a few weeks. And as some of you might know, for those who have experimented this, you might know or think you're spiritual and you have your nervous system under control. Well, if you do, just spend 1 week with your family and you will see if it's as true as you thought. Don't get me wrong, they're very loving, very generous, very caring. However, there is some heaviness in the air. And this morning, my mom, bless her heart, wanted to tidy things. And in her process, she takes everything out before putting it back in. I wasn't aware of it. So once I left my room, I first walked into the living room to find clutter. Clutter. To find things everywhere, clothes, bed sheets, whatever, you name it. And I took a deep breath in and I was like, that's okay, that's her house, let her do whatever she wants. And as I moved into the kitchen, even more chaos. She cleansed the fridge, so everything that was in was now out. The cutlery, the vegetables, the breakfast stuff, the cooking books. I started feeling my heart rate racing and I kept breathing and I was like, that's okay, you can handle it, that's okay, just find a space, an uncluttered space within the house for your breakfast. And I couldn't find any, and then she entered as I was putting some handpan music to quiet my mind. And she started asking me all this question, nicely of course, but it just became too much for my nervous system. If any of you are also highly sensitive people, sensory overload, too many things, too many questions, too much information. So I started having a tiny one anxiety attack, and she never saw me having one, so she freaked out and was like, it's okay, I have it under control, I just need some space. So I put the handpan music a bit louder. I proceeded like an OCD maniac to putting everything back into their own space in the kitchen, and then and only then I could sit to have my breakfast, taking deep slow breaths, exhaling twice as long as I was breathing. So I started feeling better, sprinkling some cinnamon in the coffee, and the blend of their smell made me feel better. And then I decided to make myself a juice, a nourishing juice with almonds, sunflower seeds, whatever seeds you name. To be honest, I can't remember all what I've put in, but healthy stuff. Some chia, I think, some psyllium. Anyways, some nourishing coconut milk, cacao. No, I actually ate cacao as chocolate this morning. My inner child needed some soothing. And avocado and a green apple. And after that, I started feeling safer in my body again. I went to ground myself further to practice some self-love on my face with argan oil and nourishing face cream, did my makeup, hair care, and now I can finally breathe again with a wide chest. So why am I sharing this? Because my mom genuinely, bless her heart, freaked out when she saw me like that, because she never did. And I was like, well, now you know why I studied embodiment practices. It's to get myself back to some kind of normal when these things happen. Thankfully, they don't happen often, but sometimes life is just too much. Right now, I am going through a time where one of my dearest loved ones is not in a great health state, so it's keeping me preoccupied. And my family, as I said, they're very loving, they're very kind and generous, but there is so much suppressed emotion, so much trauma that resurface, and I've been, as the eldest daughter and as the coach now, I'm the one who ends up in the savior position and trying to communicate that it's not my place anymore, and that there are therapists and coaches that are better equipped to deal with them, because, you know, boundaries. But it's taking some time and effort, so some days are just harder than others. And my message is for the fellow highly sensitive, deeply processing emotional souls. Just wondering, what are your own tips and tricks to handle things? And I'm actually thinking, after this morning, I might either record an EFT tapping or breathwork or a guided meditation sequence to share, because thankfully, and I'm so grateful for all the practices I have learned over time, I can now bring myself to feeling safe and grounded. I have the medicine to do it, the natural medicine, body work mostly, and get back to myself, to my grounding in a matter of minutes. But I can also do that, and I also got there, and it's very important to underline that, because before I learned those tools, I also went through almost 3 years of cognitive behavioral therapy to understand how my childhood small t traumas, my grown-up small t traumas, and my personality as a highly sensitive person explained why some things that are so mundane for most people could be so triggering and affect me so much. So after I've done that and I understood the why, I got clarity, stopped thinking I was crazy, and I managed to find the words also to explain to my loved ones, so that we could communicate without guilt, without shame, what was going on. I realized I had some stuff still stored in, and so through yoga, active meditation, breathwork, intuitive dancing, chanting, and so many beautiful somatic tools that are really easy to grasp, now I can soothe myself back. And so that's why I'm so eager to share this, whether through my service offerings or also as freebies for whomever needs it through this Instagram account. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. FYI, the astrological climate is pretty chart. I'll share a story by one of my favorite astrologers, given that it's not my area of expertise. So yeah, you sensitive souls, even more than others, might be triggered a lot this weekend. Take it easy, be kind to yourself, and whenever you can, just find some quiet space where you can chill. Yeah, just chill, whatever is your way of doing it. Watching something, reading something, listening to something, getting your body in motion, whatever works for you. That's the real medicine. Lots of love and light.